Okay, so Hare Krishna, Prabhavati Sati Mataji and Lalita Mataji. So when you are ready to recite, so kindly with invocation prayers start the recitation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. All Guru Srila Prabhupada. Okay, Prabhuji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Bhagavad-gita, chapter 2, verses from 49. दूरेण ह्यवरं कर्म बुद्धियोगात् बुद्धौ शरणमन्विच्छ कृपणः फलहेतवः.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. O Dhananjaya, keep all abominable activities far distant by devotional service, and in that consciousness surrender unto the Lord. Those who want to enjoy the fruits of their work are miseries. Miseria.
Next,
Krishna.
50.
Hare
बुद्धियुक्तो जहातीह उभे सुकृतदुष्कृते तस्माद्योगाय युज्यस्व योगः कर्मसु कौशलम्.
A man engaged in devotional service rides himself of both good and bad reactions even in this life. Therefore, strive for yoga, which is the art of all work.
कर्मजं बुद्धियुक्ता हि फलं त्यक्त्वा मनीषिणः जन्मबन्धविनिर्मुक्ताः पदं गच्छन्त्यनामयम्.
By thus engaging in devotional service to the Lord, great sages or devotees free themselves from the results of work in the material world. In this way, they become free from the cycle of birth and death and attain the state beyond all miseries by going back to Godhead.
यदा ते मोहकलिलं बुद्धिर्व्यतितरिष्यति तदा गन्तासि निर्वेदं श्रोतव्यस्य श्रुतस्य च.
When your intelligence has passed out of the dense forest of delusion, you shall become indifferent to all that has been heard and all that is to be heard.
पृथिविप्रतिपन्ना ते यदा स्थास्यति निश्चला समाधावचला बुद्धिः तदा योगमवाप्स्यसि.
When your mind is no longer disturbed by the flowery language of the Vedas, and when it remains fixed in the trance of self-realization, then you will have attained the divine consciousness.
अर्जुन उवाच स्थितप्रज्ञस्य का भाषा समाधिस्तस्य केशव स्थितधीं किं प्रभाषेत किमासीत व्रजेत किम्.
Arjuna said, O Krishna, what are the symptoms of one whose consciousness is thus merged in transcendence? How does he speak, and what is his language? How does he sit, and how does he walk?
श्रीभगवानुवाच प्रजाहाति यदा कामान् सर्वान् पार्थमनोगतान् आत्मनेवात्मना तुष्टः स्थितप्रज्ञस्तदोच्यते.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O Partha, when the man gives up all varieties of desire for sense gratification, which arise from the mental concoction, and when his mind, thus purified, finds satisfaction in the self alone, then he is said to be in pure transcendental consciousness.
दुःखेष्वनुद्विग्नमनाः सुखेषु विगतस्पृहः वीतरागभयक्रोधः स्थितधीमुनिरुच्यते.
One who is not disturbed in mind even amidst the threefold miseries are elated when there is happiness, and who is free from attachment, fear, and anger is called a sage of steady mind.
यः सर्वत्र न विस्नेहः तत्तः प्राप्याशुभाशुभं नाभिनन्दन्ति न द्वेष्टि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता.
In the material world, one who is unaffected by whatever good or evil he may obtain, neither prizing it nor despising it. It is firmly fixed in perfect knowledge.
यदा संहरते चायं कूर्मोऽङ्गानीव सर्वशः इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियार्थेभ्यः तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता.
One who is able to withdraw his sense from sense objects, and as the tortoise draw its limbs within the shell, is firmly fixed, is perfect consciousness.
विषया विनिवर्तन्ते निराहारस्य देहिनः रसवर्ज्यं रसोऽप्यस्य परं दृष्ट्वा निवर्तते.
Though the embodied soul may be restricted from the sense enjoyment, the taste for sense objects remains. But seizing such engagements by experiencing a higher taste, he is fixed in consciousness.
यततो ह्यपि कौन्तेय पुरुषस्य विपश्चितः इन्द्रियाणि प्रमाथीनि हरन्ति प्रसवं मनः.
The senses are so strong and impetuous, O Arjuna, that they forcibly carry away the mind even of a man of a discrimination who is endeavoring to control them.
तानि सर्वाणि संयम्य युक्त आसीत मत्परः वशे हि यस्येन्द्रियाणि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता.
One who restrains his senses, keeping them under full control, and fixes his consciousness upon me, he is known as a man of steady intelligence.
ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंसः सङ्गस्तेषुपजायते सङ्गासंज्ञायते कामः कामात् क्रोधो अभिजायते.
While contemplating the objects of the sense, a person develops attachment for them, and from such attachment, lust develops, and from lust, anger arises.
क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहः सम्मोहात् स्मृतिविभ्रमः स्मृतिभ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशो बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति.
From anger, complete delusion arises, and from delusion, bewilderment of memory. When memory is bewildered, intelligence is lost, and when intelligence is lost, one falls down again into the material pool.
रागद्वेषविमुक्तैस्तु विषयानिन्द्रियैश्चरन् आत्मवैश्विदेयात्मा प्रसादमधिगच्छति.
But a person free from all attachment and aversion and able to control his senses through regulative principles of freedom can obtain the complete mercy of the Lord.
प्रसादे सर्वदुःखानां ह्यानिरस्योपजायते प्रसन्नचेतसो ह्याशु बुद्धिः पर्यवतिष्ठते.
From one thus satisfied in Krishna consciousness, the threefold miseries of material existence exist no longer. In such satisfied consciousness, one's intelligence is soon well established.
नास्ति बुद्धिरयुक्तस्य न चायुक्तस्य भावना न चाभावयतः शान्तिः अशान्तस्य कुतः सुखम्.
One who is not connected with the Supreme in Krishna consciousness can have neither transcendental intelligence nor a steady mind, without which there is no possibility of peace. And how can there be any happiness without peace?
इन्द्रियाणां हि चरतां यन्मनो अनुविधीयते तदस्य हरति प्रज्ञां वायुर्नावामिवाम्भसि.
As a strong wind sweeps away a boat on the water, even one of the roaming senses on which the mind focuses can carry away the man's intelligence.
तस्माद्यस्य महाबाहो निगृहीतानि सर्वशः इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियार्थेभ्यः तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता.
Therefore, O mighty armed one whose senses are restrained from their objects is certainly of steady intelligence.
या निशा सर्वभूतानां तस्यां जागर्ति संयमे यस्यां जागृति भूतानि सा निशा पश्यतो मुनेः.
What is night for all beings is the time of awaking for the self-control, and the time of awaking for all beings is night for the introspective says.
अपूर्यमाणामचलप्रतिष्ठं समुद्रमापा प्रविशन्ति यद्वत् तद्वत् कामायं प्रविशन्ति सर्वे स शान्तिमाप्नोति न कामकामी.
A person who is not disturbed by the insane flow of desires, that enter like rivers into the ocean, which is ever being filled, but is always still, can alone achieve peace, and not the man who strives to satisfy such desires.
विहाय कामन्यः सर्वान् पुमां शरति निःस्पृहः निर्ममो निरहङ्कारः स शान्तिमधिगच्छति.
A person who has given up all desires for sense gratification, who lives from desires, who has given up all senses of proprietorship and is devoid of false ego, alone can attain real peace.
येषा ब्राह्म्यस्थितिपार्थ नैनां प्राप्य विमुह्यति स्थित्वां स्याम् अन्तकालेऽपि ब्रह्मनिर्वाणमृच्छति.
That is the way of the spiritual and godly life, attaining which a man is not bewildered. If one is thus situated even at the honor of death, one can enter into the kingdom of God.
ॐ तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे साङ्ख्ययोगो नाम द्वितीयोऽध्यायः. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhavati Mataji and Lalita Mataji. Very peacefully recited. Okay, so nice. Thank you so much. Okay, we've got devotees join. Hare Krishna, Pawan Prabhuji, Sita Sundari Mataji, and Gauringi Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, dear devotees.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisance. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all glories to all devotees. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, dear devotees, for kindly joining. Okay, so we shall move on to the next part. It is nice to hear all devotees speaking. So next part is the japa session. Can I request anyone to do Panchtattva mantra 3 times, and then we shall start the japa.
Prabhuji, can I go ahead, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji, and wherever it is possible, dear devotees, kindly unmute and chant loudly. Yes, Prabhuji, please.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare, Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Hare, 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 Ram Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Hare 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 Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Hare Rama Rama
Krishna
Rama
Krishna,
Hare
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 Ram,
Krishna Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna Hare
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Rama Hare Rama Rama
Krishna
Rama Hare
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Rama
Ram,
Rama
Ram
Hare
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna, Hare
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 Rama
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama Rama
Krishna
Rama Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare
Chaitanya Prabhu
Hare
Nityananda
Rama
Sri
Hare
Advaita Gadadhara
Rama
Srivasti
Rama
Gaura
Hare
Bhakta
Hare
Jai Shri
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Chaitanya
Krishna
Prabhu
Krishna Krishna
Nityananda Sri
Hare
Advaita
Hare
Gadadhara
Hare Rama
Srivasti
Hare
Gaura
Rama
Bhakta
Hare Rama Hare Hare
Chaitanya
Hare
Prabhu
Krishna
Nityananda
Hare
Sri
Krishna
Advaita Gadadhara
Krishna
Srivasti
Krishna
Gaura
Hare
Bhakta
Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण. Hare Krishna. Dear devotees, if anyone who has not yet completed the japa, kindly complete it behind. So meanwhile, we shall enter into the next part. It is the Kirtan. And we haven't got allocated allocations before. So now we shall allocate the devotees. Okay, so Jayad Mataji requested to sing Kirtan. So I request Jayad Mataji to continue with the Kirtan. And as it is Lochin Das Thakur's appearance day, Mataji is going to sing the Paramatvaruna Pahidavijana. So that Kirtan. And I request Sita Sundari Mataji would accompany Jai Ved Mataji, if Mataji is happy with that.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare
Okay.
Krishna. Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji. And for the Guru Vandana praise, so one devotee would lead, everyone would follow. Can I request Usha Mataji to lead for that one? Is that okay, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Yes.
And for Mangalatan praise, Gaurangi Mataji would lead and we all follow behind. Is that okay, Mataji?
Okay, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. And for Premadvani praise, I request Pawan Prabhuji to lead Premadvani praise and we all follow with response.
Sure, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. And with the Narasimha praise, Ram Lalla Prabhuji and would lead if possible, and we all follow behind.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Okay, so now we shall enter into the Kirtan. Jai Ved Mataji and Sita Sundari Mataji, when you are ready, kindly.
Hare Krishna, yes, please accept my humble obeisances and all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Having said that I would do this kirtan, I have not at all practiced, I have just kept on listening, so please forgive me for my mistakes. Hare Krishna. Parama Karuna Bahudui Jana Nitai Gora Chandra. Should I sing it again?
Koruna Ohudui Jana Nitai Gaur Chandra.
Parama Karuna Bahudui Jana Nitai Gora Chandra.
পরম করুণ বহু দুই জন নিতাই গৌরচন্দ্র
Saba Avatara Sara Shiromani Kevala Ananda Kanda.
সব অবতার সার শিরোমণি কেবল আনন্দ কান্দ
Bhajo Bhajo Bhai Chaitanya Nitai Sudrada Vishwasha Kori.
ভজ ভজ ভাই চৈতন্য নিতাই সুদৃঢ় বিশ্বাস করি
Bhajo Bhajo Bhai Chaitanya Nitai Sudrada Vishwasha Kori.
ভজ ভজ ভাই চৈতন্য নিতাই সুদৃঢ় বিশ্বাস করি
Vishaya Chodiya Sera Se Majiya Mukhe Bolo Hari Hari.
বিষয় ছাড়িয়া সে রসে মজিয়া মুখে বলো হরি হরি
Mukhe Bolo Hari হরি।
মুখে বলো হরি হরি,
দেখো রে ভাই ত্রিভুবনে নাই এমন দয়ালো দাতা।
দেখো রে ভাই ত্রিভুবনে নাই এমন দয়াল দাতা।
দেখো রে ভাই ত্রিভুবনে নাই এমন দয়ালো দাতা।
দেখো রে ভাই ত্রিভুবনে নাই এমন দয়ালো দাতা।
পশু পাখি জুড়ে, পশু পাখি জুড়ে পাষাণ ভিতরে শুনি ঝনর গুণ গাথা।
পশু পাখি ঝুড়ে, পশু পাখি ঝুড়ে পাষাণ হৃদয় বিদরে শুনি যার গুণ গাথা।
শুনি জন গুণ গাথা।
শুনি যার গুণ গাথা।
সংসারে মজিও রহিলি পরিয় সে পাদে নাহিলো আশ।
সংসারে মজিয়া রহিলি পড়িয়া সে পদে নহিল আর।
সংসারে মজিয়া রহিলি পরিয়া সে পদে নাহিলো আশ।
সংসারে মজিয়া রহিলি পড়িয়া সে পদে নহিলু আস।
আপন করম, আপন করম ভুঞ্জায়ে সমন কাহয়ে লোচন দাস।
আপন করম, আপন করম ভুঞ্জায়ে সমন কহয়ে লোচন দাস।
কহয়ে লোচন দাস।
কহয়ে লোচন দাস।
পরম করুণা বাহু দুই জানো নিতাই গোরা চন্দ্র।
পরম করুণ বহু দুই জন নিতাই গৌর চন্দ্র।
হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে হরে, হরে রাম 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 হরে হরে।
হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে হরে, হরে রাম 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 হরে হরে।
হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে হরে, হরে রাম 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 হরে হরে।
হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে হরে, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare.
Thank you, Mataji, for lovely Bengali pronunciation. I'm learning from you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji, for giving opportunity. And sorry, I could not follow you properly.
You
Very nice.
You did
Thank
so well, Mataji. In fact, I was learning from you, not the other way around.
No, you did very well, Mataji. Hari bol.
Hare Krishna, Javed Mataji, it was very, very nice melodious and a Bengali melodious actually. Really is bhava, actually is bhava, is real bhava for Bengali bhava. Yeah, really so wonderful. So we can we read a translation? It will be.
Yes, Prabhuji, would you like to do that, Prabhuji?
Okay, I will do one by one. Okay.
Yes, maybe we can take everyone one translation.
Okay.
You can get first one, Prabhuji.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Hare Krishna. The two lords, Nitai Gauranga, are very merciful. They are the essence of all incarnations. The specific significance of these incarnations is that they introduce a process of chanting and dancing that is simply joyful. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Can I request Lalita Mataji to read second one?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. My dear brother, I request that you just worship Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda with firm conviction and faith. If one wants to be Krishna conscious, by this process, one has to give up his engagement in the sense gratification. One simply has to chant Hare Krishna without any motive. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Prabhavati Sachi Mataji, third one, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. My dear brother, just try and examine this. Within the three worlds, there is no one like Lord Chaitanya or Lord Nityananda. Their merciful qualities are so great that upon hearing them, even birds and beasts cry and stones melt. Hare Krishna.
Very beautiful. Thank you, Mataji. Can request Pawan Prabhuji, fourth one, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. But Lochana Dasa regrets that I am entrapped by sense gratification. Since I have no attraction for the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, then Yamaraja, the superintendent of death, is punishing me by not allowing me to be attracted by this moment. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So beautiful. Thank you, Prabhuji. And the Mataji, very nice. Okay, so that is from the Kirtan. So we shall move on to the next part. That is the Guru Vandana. Okay, Mataji, are you ready to lead Guru Vandana?
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Okay, dear devotees, kindly unmute and follow wherever it is part. Mataji is going to sing, and we all follow behind in the same tune. Usha Mataji, when you are ready.
Yes, Prabhu. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Jaya
Jaya
Prabhupada.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya
Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya
Prabhupada.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Sri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Pakati Sadma
Guru
Charanam
ke
Bhagavati
Sadma.
Dando moi savadana mate.
Banda mui
Mate
Banda moi savadana mate.
Bando
mui sabdhana mate.
Jahar prasade bhai he bhavaturiya jai.
Jahara
He
Bhavatoriya Jai.
Jahara prasade bhai he bhavaturiya jai.
Jahara Prasade Bhavatoriya Jai.
Krishna prapti hoy jahan hoite.
Krishna
Prati hoy
Jahate
Ode
Krishna prapti hoy jahan hoite.
Krishna
Krishna
Prati
Prati Hoy
Jahate
Jahate.
Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitete Kuriya Yakya.
Guru Mukha Chitete Kuriya
Koriya Yottam.
Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitete Kuriya Yakya.
Guru Padma Vakya Chite Koriya
Koriya Yottam.
Arana Kuri Homoni Asha.
Arana Kuriyo Mane Asha
Arana Kuri Homoni Asha.
Arana Kuriyo Mane Asha
Shri Guru Charane Rati Aise Uttama Gati.
Sri Guru Charane
Rati
Rati Se
Aise Uttama Gati
Jai Prasade Pure Sarva Asha.
Jai Prasade Pure Sarva
Jai Prasade Pure Sarva Asha.
Jai
Prasade Puri Sarva Asha
चक्रदान दिलो जय जन्म जन्म प्रभु से
Chakudano Dilo
जय जन्म जन्मे प्रभु से
चक्रदान दिलो जय जन्म जन्म प्रभु से
Chakudano
जन्म जन्मे प्रभु से
दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशित
दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशितो
दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशितो
दिव्य ज्ञान
दिव्यज्ञान
हृदय
प्रकाशितो
प्रेम भक्ति जहाँ होते अविद्या विनाश जाते
प्रेम
प्रेम
भक्ति
भक्ति जहाँ होते अविद्या विनाश जाते
प्रेम भक्ति जहाँ होते अविद्या विनाश जाते
प्रेम भक्ति जहाँ होते अविद्या विनाश जाते
वेद गाय जहाँ रचरितो
वेद गाय जहाँ रचरितो
वेद गाय जहाँ रचरितो
वेद गाय जहाँ रचरितो
श्री गुरु करुण सिंधु अधम जनार बंधु
श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधम जनार बंधु
श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधम जनार बंधु
श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु
अधम जनार बंधु
लोकेनाथ लोकेर जीवाना
नाथ
लोकनाथ लोकेर
लोकेर
लोकेनाथ लोकेर जीवाना
लोकनाथ लोकेर जीवन
हाँ हाँ प्रभु करो दया देह मोरे पद छाया
प्रभु करो दया
देहो मोरे पद छाया
हाँ हाँ प्रभु करो दया देह मोरे पद छाया
हाँ प्रभु करो दया देहो मोरे पद छाया
छाया
हे बेदास दुसु त्रिभुवना
ये बेजसा
त्रिभुवना
हे बेदास दुसु त्रिभुवना
ये बेजसा
शीला प्रभुपाद पतित पवना गुरुदेव लैलो शरण जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद
जय जय प्रभुपाद
प्रभुपाद जय जय
जय प्रभुपाद
जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव
जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव
जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की
जय।
हरे कृष्ण थैंक यू
So beautiful, Usha Mataji. So lovely. Thank you so much, Mataji. Okay. And also when devotees are all singing together, it is the vibrations are so positive and very nice, so beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, we shall move to the Mangalachan phase. So, Mataji, to lead the Mangalachan phase.
Okay, Prabhuji. Okay.
So maybe you can just recite the slok, entire slok, right? So we all follow.
Okay.
Okay, dear devotees, wherever it is possible, kindly unmute and we follow after Gaurangi Mataji.
Two line, Prabhuji, or one line?
You can do that if you feel comfortable, 2 lines. So for the flow, you can do the 2 lines, Mataji.
Okay, okay, Prabhuji. Okay, Hare Krishna, everyone. Dandavad Pranam.
Pranam.
Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chachurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha.
ॐ अज्ञानातिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानानस्सलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः।
श्रीचैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वकदन्तिकम्
श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले
स्वयं रूपा
कदा
वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांस श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथं तं सजीवम्
वन्दे
श्रीगुरु श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथं तं सजीवम्
सावधूतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्ण पदनसागणललिता श्रीविशाखाविष्टां सा
साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण राधा सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च।
हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते।
हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु
सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत नमोस्तुते।
तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये।
कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी हरिप्रिये।
वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः।
वनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः।
नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनैति नामिने।
नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनीति नामिने।
नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे।
नमस्ते
सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे।
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि गौर भक्त वृंदा।
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंदा।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्ण Krishna Krishna Hare
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 Hare,
Hare Rama
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama
Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada की
Hey
अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की
Jai.
Hey
जय गौर प्रेमानंद
Hare
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 Rama.
हरि
Bol.
बोल हरे कृष्णा
Hare
थैंक यू प्रभु जी
Krishna. Vikram Mataji. Very nice. Thank you so much. Okay, so next one is the Prema Dhwani place, leading by Pawan Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. When you're ready, Prabhuji, and the devotees kind, you would be doing until up to key, and all devotees follow with the Jaya as a response. Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. जय नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णुपादा परमहंसा परिव्रजक आचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस श्रील एसी भक्तिवेदांता स्वामी महाराजा प्रभुपाद की
Jai
Jai.
जय ओम विष्णुपादा परमहंसा परिव्रजक आचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराजा प्रभुपाद की
Jai
अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की
Jai
नामाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की
Jai
इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य श्रीला प्रभुपाद की
Jai
प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद जय अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की
Jai
श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंद राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की
Jai
वृंदावन धाम की
Jai
मथुरा धाम की
Jai
नवद्वीप धाम की
Jai
जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की
Jai
गंगा माई की
Jai
यमुना माई की
Jai
तुलसी देवी की
Jai
भक्ति देवी की संकीर्तन यज्ञ की बृहद मृदंगा की रामवेद भक्त वृंद की
Jai
गौर प्रेमानंद
Hare
All
all glories to the assembled devotees
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
all glories to the assembled devotees
Krishna.
all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga Hare
Hare Krishna.
Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for giving me this opportunity.
So beautiful, Prabhuji. Very nice. So enthusiastic and energetic. Very nice leading, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Very beautiful. Thank you so much. And we got devotees, Jai Jagannath and Sanchita Mata joined. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji and Mataji. Thank you, Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Hare Krishna dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Bol.
Okay, so we shall move into the next part, Srimad Bhagavadgita. So in the Srimad Bhagavadgita, in the last session, we have discussed until Shloka 60, Ramlala Prabhuji very beautifully described about this Shloka, Yatato Hepi Kaunteya Purushasya Vipashitaha. And Purushasya Vipashitaha. And Indriyani Pramadhini Paranti Prasabhammanaha. So Vipashitaha is a person who is full of discriminating knowledge. Even if a person is endeavoring in transcendental knowledge, if any of one of his senses is agitating him, then he will be forced and it will drag him away. So likewise, Krishna is saying to Arjuna, so the senses are so strong and impetuous, O Arjuna, that they forcibly carry away the mind even of a man of discrimination who is endeavoring to control them. Okay, so likewise, in the last session, so Krishna is describing this is part of the Buddhi Yoga. And when Arjuna was asking about a person, how he will be स्थितप्रज्ञस्य का भाषा समाधिस्तस्य केशव श्रीः किं प्रभाषेत किम् आसीत व्रजेत किम्. How a person situated in transcendence, how he will sit, how he will speak, and what he do, and all things, what is his behavior. Then Krishna is describing in all those things. He will be like controlled senses, and he is always less speaking. He is equipoised in all good and bad, likewise, and he is not attached to good and bad everywhere when he is engaged in his activities. After saying that, a person, once he is habituated for the higher taste, he does not go down to the lower taste or the material pole. And then he is saying further how a person will be able to fall down. So here the senses, they will drag him forcibly. Even a person who is in transcendence, if he is not able to control those things, senses are so strong. It is describing about the senses. In order to control the senses, further today, Krishna is speaking further shloka. So 61, where Sanchita Mataji is going to take us through. But before Mataji is going to take us through, we shall all recite this shloka and get familiarized. Okay, so here, a person who is controlling all his senses with his mind, with his intelligence, then he is called prajna. Prajna is the is properly situated. He is fixed in his consciousness. So, तानि सर्वाणि संयम्य युक्त आसीत मत्परः वशे हि यस्य इन्द्रियाणि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता. So there is one specific importance for this shloka. So Krishna first time, when Arjuna, he has surrendered himself as a disciple to Krishna. So far Krishna is giving the knowledge, but whenever this point, Krishna is saying Matparaha, and so far Krishna has not revealed to Arjuna that he is Supreme Personality of Godhead. So here he is saying here, Asita Matparaha, the first time usage of the word Matparaha. तानि सर्वाणि संयम्य युक्तासीत मत्परः वशे हि यस्येन्द्रियाणि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता. One who restrains his senses, keeping them under full control, and fixes his consciousness upon me, is known as a man of steady intelligence. Okay, so I request the devotees, we shall follow and recite this shloka. First of all, practice. I shall do the once, and then later on all devotees, we and all devotees follow line by line, and then after that devotees take a turn and recite. तानि सर्वाणि संयम्य युक्त आसीत मत्परः वशे हि यस्येन्द्रियाणि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता. And the devotees kindly follow line by line. तानि सर्वाणि संयम्य
तानि
तानि
सर्वाणि संयम्य
युक्त आसीत मत्परः
युक्त
आसीत
आसीत
मत्परः
मत्परः
वसे हि यस्येन्द्रियाणि
वसे हि
यस्येन्द्रियाणि
यस्य इन्द्रियाणि
तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता.
तस्य
तस्य प्रज्ञा
प्रतिष्ठिता.
प्रतिष्ठिता.
तानि सर्वाणि संयम्य
तानि सर्वाणि
संयम्य
युक्त आसीत मत्परः
युक्त
आसीत
आसीत
मत्परः
मत्परः
वशे हि यस्येन्द्रियाणि
वशे
यस्येन्द्रियाणि
यस्येन्द्रियाणि
तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता.
तस्य
तस्य
प्रज्ञा
प्रज्ञा
प्रतिष्ठिता.
प्रतिष्ठिता.
तानि सर्वाणि संयम्य
तानि
तानि
सर्वाणि
सर्वाणि
संयम्य
संयम्य
युक्त आसीत मत्परः
युक्त
युक्त
आसीत
आसीत
मत्परः
वशे हि यस्येन्द्रियाणि
वशे
वशे
यस्येन्द्रियाणि
यस्येन्द्रियाणि
तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता.
तस्य
तस्य
प्रज्ञा
प्रज्ञा
प्रतिष्ठिता.
प्रतिष्ठिता.
Very beautiful. Yes, so can I request devotees take turn one by one? Just only you will be reciting. So just to save time, that's all.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, would you like to go?
Sure, Prabhuji. तानि सर्वाणि संयम्य युक्तासीत मत्परा वशेहि यस्येन्द्रियाणि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता.
Very beautiful. Damlila Prabhuji.
तानि सर्वाणि समजामा युक्तासीतार्मत्परः अशेषा हि यस्येन्द्रियाणि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता.
Very beautiful. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Sita Sundari Mataji, Sita Sundari.
Oh, Mataji is there? Yes, Mataji, please.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. तानि सर्वाणि संयम्य युक्ता आसीत मत्पराः वासेहि यस् इन्द्रियाणि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता.
Very beautiful. Thank you, Mataji. And Prabhuji, so sweet. Okay, Gaurangi Mataji, would you like to go next?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. तानि सर्वाणि संयम्य युक्ता आसीत मत्परः वशेहि यस्येन्द्रियाणि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Very nice. Thank you, Mataji. Saurav Prabhuji, please.
I did.
Please carry on.
Prabhuji, it's not audible, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, we can't hear you. Okay, meanwhile, Prabhuji, you sort out the audio thing, so we shall come back to you at the end. Yes, Prabhuji, we hear you low, very low, Prabhuji.
I won't be able to listen.
I can't hear you, Prabhuji, properly.
I won't be able to listen. Sorry.
Yeah, sure, Prabhuji. We'll come back to you later. Okay, so move on to Jaivad Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna, yes. तानि सर्वाणि संयम्य युक्त आसीत मत्परः वशे हि यस्येन्द्रियाणि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Lalita Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna devotees. तानि सर्वाणि संयम्य युक्ता आसितमत्परः वासे हि यस्येन्द्रियाणि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता.
Very
Hare
nice.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Very nice. Thank you, Mataji. Prabhavati Sachi Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. तानि सर्वाणि संयम्य युक्त आसीत मत्परः वशे हि यस्येन्द्रियाणि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता.
Very beautiful. Thank you, Mataji. Usha Mataji, please.
Yes, Prabhu Krishna. तानि सर्वाणि संयम्य युक्त आसीत मत्परः वसे हि यस्येन्द्रियाणि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता. Hare Krishna.
Very
Prabhu.
nice. Sanchita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. तानि सर्वाणि संयम्य युक्त आसीत मत्परः वसे हि यस्येन्द्रियाणि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठितः.
Very beautiful. Thank you, Mataji. Okay, so now so far who has recited, and we have for a number of times. If anyone is not able to recite without looking, if anyone has by hearted in this session, would you like to try without looking?
Sure, Prabhuji, I can try.
Yes, Prabhuji.
तानि सर्वाणि संयम्य युक्तासीत मत्परः वशे हि यस्येन्द्रियाणि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता. Hare Krishna.
Very beautiful. Thank you,
Yeah.
Prabhuji. Okay, so you are a quick learner. Thank you, Prabhuji.
I think I remember last ones as well. 58 text chapter 2.
Yes.
यथा संहार्थ चायं कूर्मो अङ्गनिव सर्वशः इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियातेभ्यः तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता.
Yeah, so beautiful. Very nice.
It's like rehearsal. Thank you, Prabhuji. Actually, I'm learning a lot from these sessions.
Very nice. Anyone would like to try without looking? It is a few words only, just hardly 10 words. Javed Mataji wanted to do it.
Oh, Prabhuji. Tani sarvani samyamya yukta asita matparaha vasehi in yasya indriyani tasya prajna pratishtitaha.
So beautiful.
Sorry.
Excellent. You did it, Mataji. Very nice.
Very nice, Mataji. Nearly made it.
Okay. Usha Mataji.
I'll try, Prabhu. I don't know. Okay. Tani sarvani संयम्य यतासीत मत्परः वसेहि यस्येन्द्रियाणि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता.
Wonderful. Excellent.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Very nice. Okay. So devotees learn very quickly. This is what we wanted. Okay. Anyone wanted to try without looking?
तानि सर्वाणि संयम्य युक्त आसीत मत्परः वशे हि यस्येन्द्रियाणि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिताः.
Super. Thank you so much, Mataji. Wonderful. Anyone else?
Prabhuji, let me try, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
तानि सर्वाणि संयम्यां युक्ता आसितमत्परः वासे हि यस्य इन्द्रियाणि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता. Hare Krishna.
Excellent. Excellent. So beautiful, Mataji.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else want to try? It's just few words, only hardly 10 words within this. Okay, so thank you so much, dear devotees. This is Tani Sarvani Samyamya Yukta Sita Matparaha Vashehi Yasya Indriyani Tasya Prajna Pratisthita. Okay, so now we shall hand over the session to Sanchita Mataji. Hare Krishna, Sanchita Mataji. Thank you for kindly accepting to do this service. Okay, I'm happy for you to share your screen, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you very much. Yeah, this week has been really very busy. I did not get, last week I prepared, but then these 2 weeks just went by with so many things. I did not prepare much, but I'll still try to share whatever I remember. Let me see, just before sharing, just a second.
Mataji, your audio is a bit low, or if you are come nearer to the speaker.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, can you hear?
Yes, now it is fine, Mataji.
Okay. Yeah, I was saying that like I did not get much time to prepare this time. There's so much going on, and we had been to the temple and just came back half an hour back. So I'll try my best. Please
Yes, Mataji.
bless
That's
me
fine.
so that I can say the right words. And please forgive me if I make mistakes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Yes, so we'll begin with our usual way, how we do it. So I'll do recite the verse once, do the synonyms and antonyms, and read the purport and then go back. Yeah, so hope it's okay, Prabhu. Yeah. So Tani sarvani samyamya yukta ashita matparaha vasehi yash indriyani tasya pragya pratisthitaha. pratisthita, synonyms, tani, those senses, sarvani, all, samyamya, keeping under control, yuktaha, engaged, asita, should be situated, matparaha, in relationship with me. So as Amoga Prabhu mentioned in this verse, this is the most important word, matparaha. Yeah. Vase, in full subjugation. He, certainly. Yasya, one whose. Indriyani, senses. Tasya, his. Pragya, consciousness. And pratisthita is fixed. Translation, one who restrains his senses, keeping them under full control and fixes his consciousness upon me, is known as the man of steady intelligence. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. That the highest conception of yoga perfection is Krishna consciousness and is clearly explained in this verse. And unless one is in Krishna consciousness, it is not at all possible to control the senses. As cited above, the great sage Durvasa Muni picked up a quarrel with Maharaj Ambarish, and Durvasa Muni unnecessarily became angry out of pride and therefore could not check his senses. On the other hand, the king, although not as powerful as a yogi, as a sage, but as a devotee of the Lord, silently tolerated all the sages' injustice and thereby emerged victorious. The king was able to control his senses because of the following qualification as mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 4, verses 18 to 20. So what does it say? Sa may manah Krishna padaro vindayor vachamsi vaikuntha gunanu varnane karau harera mandira marjana disu shrutim chakarachyuta sat kathodaye mukunda lingaya darshane drishau tadbhritya gatre sparshe anga sangamam घ्राणं च तत्पद सरोज सौरभे श्रीमत् तुलस्या रसनं तद अर्पिते पादौ हरेर क्षेत्र पादानुस अर्पणे शिरो ऋषिक पदाभिवन्दने कामं च दास्य नातु कामया यथोत्तम श्लोक जनाश्रय रतिः. So what it means, King Ambarish fixed his mind on the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, engaged his words in describing the abode of the Lord, his hands in cleansing the temple of the Lord, his ears in hearing the pastimes of the Lord, his eyes in seeing the form of the Lord, his body in touching the body of the Lord, his nostrils in smelling the flavors of the flowers offered to the lotus feet of the Lord, his tongue in tasting the tulsi leaves offered to him, his legs in traveling to the holy places where his temple is situated, his head in offering obeisances unto the Lord, and his desires in fulfilling the desires of the Lord. And all these qualifications made him fit to become a matparaha, devotee of the Lord. The word matpara is most significant in this connection. How one can become matpara is described in the life of Maharaj Ambarish. Sri Valadev Vidyabhushan, a great scholar and acharya in the line of matpara, remarks, Mad Bhakti Prabhabena Sarvendriya Vijaya Purvika Swatma Drishtihi Sulabheti Bhavaha The senses can be completely controlled only by the strength of devotional service to Krishna. Also, the example of fire is sometimes given. As a blazing fire burns everything into a room, within a room, Lord Vishnu, situated in the heart of a yogi, burns up all kinds of impurities. The Yoga Sutra also describes meditation on Vishnu and not meditation on the void. The so-called yogis who meditate on something other than Vishnu form simply waste their time in the vain search after some phantasmagoria. We have to be Krishna conscious devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the aim of real yoga. Yeah, so this, as I mentioned, I'm not prepared, but this purport is so nicely explained that if we go through the purport one after another, then it basically explains and we can understand what Prabhupada wants to explain in this verse. So, yeah, before starting, I'll just, go recap on the few things like Prabhu was mentioning, Amoga Prabhu, before he started. Like, before when Arjuna asked, like, what is a sthita pragya? Like, one who is conscious, how does he do things? So, how does he's asking these questions? How does he sit? How does he walk? I mean, and all that. And when the Lord is answering, he's saying, I will not go in the details because we have already discussed it. He's saying one who is like. He's talking in third person, not disturbed. Here also in this material world, one who is not affected by good or evil. Then he says, one who is able to withdraw his senses from the sense objects like a tortoise. So like that. And again, but in this verse, what does he say? This is the first time, as Prabhu mentioned, in the first time he is saying, here he's saying one who restrains, but again he's saying that keeping his senses under control. So this is the first thing. And how can that be done? That can, and then he's giving the key to it. Like, we know, we all try to, everybody in this world is trying to, like, in some point of time they would like to control the senses, but Lord gives the key. This is the key. So how are you able to do that? We can only do it by fixing his is the person, like he's speaking to us, his consciousness upon me is known to be the man of steady intelligence. So here, as Prabhu mentioned, it's like this is the Buddhi Yoga, and Lord is giving. Initially, he had given, like, the Sankhya philosophy. He has given a bit of. Later, he gives a bit of Jnana Yoga. Karma, he has explained what kind of karma we should do, but this one is like he's talking about buddhi, like person with intelligence. What should he do? So if we go to the purport now, so it says that the highest conception of yoga perfection is Krishna consciousness. So we have heard about, like, we're speaking all the different yoga forms like karma yoga, jnana yoga, buddhi yoga, the main important yoga, and the yogis who do like hatha yoga, and, like, they meditate in the void. All these kinds of yoga types, varieties of yoga we know, but he said the highest perfection, how do we get the perfection of yoga? It's through Krishna consciousness, is clearly explained in this verse. So unless one is Krishna conscious, it is not possible to control the senses. The senses, controlling the senses means, like, suppose if you want to tame a horse, like if a person, like, the horse rider, if he wants to tame the horse, what does he do first? Like, it has to take control. If it just give some instruction to the horse, it will not listen. So how does he do it? So he take reins of the horse, right? So that is like our senses, like these senses, they are controlled by the mind, and the mind, it goes here and there. So mind is guided by the intelligence, and the intelligence guided by the soul. So when we take control of the senses, we take the reins, then only we can control. And here Prabhupada gives a nice example of this little story about Durvasa Muni and the quarrel with Ambarish Maharaj. Most of you, the devotees here, quite senior, they would know, but devotees who are new, I'll just quickly um, just say the story in brief so that we can relate what I mean. Here it says that Durvasa Muni picked up a quarrel with Ambarish Maharaj, and then he cursed him. So what happened was, like, Ambarish Maharaj, we know he was a great king, like great noble king. Always, I mean, though he had a lot of opulence, he was a very opulent king, but he was always he's kept all his senses as like mat paraha, always in Krishna consciousness, and he never had any pride about anything. So then one day, like Durvasa Muni, he wanted to check, like, the check, like how good he is. So what he did, he, like, it was during time of a Ekadashi, and on the, as we know, on the Dwadashi day, there is a, during the Parana time, Durvasa Muni came, like, he came to visit Ambarish Maharaj, and he was asking for like alms, like, give me like some, offer me something. So the Lord says, yeah, he is very, I mean, sorry, Ambarish Maharaj said, yeah, he is very happy to offer him something. And then the Vasamuni, he said he will go and have a he will take a bath, he will bathe himself, and then he'll do his meditation and then come back. So that's what he did. He went to take a bath in the river, and then he started doing his meditation, and he didn't come back for a long time. And during this time, for when we do paran, we have a time limit, right? Like, sometimes it's few minutes, sometimes few hours. So Ambarish Maharaj was a bit worried that the time is like the parent time is nearly finishing, and Durvasa Muni had not come yet, and he had kept like Nirjala fast. So then he thought, the other people around him, they said, at least, parent time will go, at least you can have a little bit of sip of water so that you can break the fast, and then when the Rasha Muni comes, then you can serve him properly with Vaishnav Bhojan and all. So he just did that. So as he was just taking the sip of water, the Vasha Muni came, and he got very furious, very angry that you have invited a brahmana, I have come to your door, and then you are instead of serving the brahmana, you're just serving yourself. What kind of king you are? So he got very angry. So from here, so we say, like, so Durvasha Muni unnecessarily became angry out of pride, and therefore he was not in control of his senses. So then he cursed him. So I mean that you will lose everything and all. And at this point, Ambarish Maharaj, he was just a perfect yogi. So on the other hand, the king, although he was not as a powerful yogi as a sage, so he said, of course, he didn't do as much meditation as Durvasa Muni, but what he was a devotee of the Lord, and he silently tolerated all the sages' injustice and thereby emerged victorious. And the king was able to control his senses, because in the following verses we'll see why he was able to control his senses, how he practiced that all throughout his life. So before that, I would just like to say, like, Ambarish Maharaj, he was a king and he was a Kshatriya. Kings have to fight, so he was a Kshatriya. And Durvasa Muni, he was a Brahmin. So normally Brahmins are considered like at a higher platform, being at a higher platform than according to the Varnashram Dharma. Brahmins are quite higher, considered higher than the Kshatriyas. So then he should be able to free from all this, he should be able to control his senses and in complete out of Maya. Like, he has been a yogi for all his life, but like he had so much pride that I am a Brahmin, that I have got so much of yoga and meditation and so much power, that he had so much pride. So when there is pride, then Lord takes away that pride. So what he did when he cursed, that Lord was very angry, and then because Lord knew he was a devotee, so what he did, he left his discharged his Sudarshan Chakra, and then I think Durvasha Muni was chased across all the 3 planets, and then he understood what mistake he did, and then later he realized and he asked for forgiveness from Ambarish Maharaj, and then Ambarish Maharaj, being a like real yogi, he forgave him. So this is the backstory behind it. So now this verses is basically for us, it's very important, and if we are able to do this, then as mentioned here, this is the basic Krishna consciousness. So the highest, how can we get to the highest conception of perfection of yoga? By practicing what Ambarish Maharaj did. So what does it say? Sa vai manah Krishna padaro vindayor. So it says like Ambarish Maharaj fixed his mind onto the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. So manaha, his mind onto Krishna's lotus feet. Vachamsi Vaikuntha Gunanu Varnane. So, and what is he used his Vani for? He used his mouth for engaged his words in describing the abode of the Lord. So, all the time, so he's including all his senses, like all the five senses, the Gyanendriya and the Karmendriya, he used most of his senses in glorifying the Lord all the time. So, he with his mind was fixed on the lotus feet of the Lord, and then he with his vani he was able to describe Lord's pastimes. He used to do, and what did he do with his hand? Karau harera mandira marjana diso. So forgive me, I'm not like very good at reciting the shlokas, but I'm just trying to connect it, like what does each line mean. So with his hand he's cleaning the temple of the Lord, and this has been like demonstrated by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself when the Lord came on the planet. And then before the Jagannath Rath Yatra festival, when Lord knew that from the Jagannath Puri temple Lord is going, the Lord Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra chariots are going to the Gundicha temple, Lord wanted to clean the temple with his associates by his own hand. So they used water and the scrubbers, and they cleaned it so nicely, it was shining. So that is called good. I mean, just one day before the Jagannath Yatra festival is called Gundicha Marjan. So like cleaning the temple with his own hand. So Ambarish Maharaj is doing the same thing, is cleaning the Lord's temple with his own hand. And then next what it says, Shrutim Chakara Chuta Sat Kathodaye. So what he is doing, he is all the time, what is Shruti means hearing. So his ears are hearing the pastimes of the Lord. So Krishna Katha, always he is engaged his ears in hearing the Krishna Katha. And then what does his eyes do? Mukunda Lingaya Darshane Disho. So he is all the time with his eyes he is seeing the forms of the Lord. So Mukunda Lingaya means like he's going for darshan, he's doing parikrama when so that is what Lord is giving the instruction here, like when we go to the temple we take darshan of the Lord, starting from his lotus feet, going up through his thighs and to his body, and then to his face, and then we glorify the Lord, we say our prayers, and then we ask for forgiveness, and then only we ask for something if you have some desire, and we do parikrama of the Lord. So he's doing that with I think here it says about his eyes are seeing, he's having the proper darshan of the Lord. And what is his body doing? His body is touching the devotee of the Lord. So his body, his tad bhritya gatre sparsha ange sangamam. So he is like with his body he's serving the devotees. So along with his senses and along with his own body he is serving the devotees of the Lord. And what is his nostril doing? His granam cha tat pada saroja saurabhe. So he with his nostrils he says with his nostrils he's smelling the flavor of the flowers offered to the Lord's lotus feet. So So we are also meant to, like, after the when we do darshan, and there is a darshan arti, and then there is a sandhya arti, we get the, we are after the arti is done, the flower arti is done to the Lord, then these flowers are offered, like for the darshan artis, and the devotees, they can smell the flower of the Lord because it's offered like as an arti thing. So we get direct like kind of a prasad. That's also, this flower is also prasad of Lord. So what is he smelling? Saroja Saurabhe. So that is the lotus flower. Saroja, it's the lotus. Where's my, sorry, Saroja Saurabhe. So smelling the lotus flower, I mean, offered to the Lord's lotus feet. And then what is he doing after that? Srimad Tulasya Rasanam Tad Arpite. And then what he, with his tongue, what is he doing? His tongue is tasting the tulasi offered to the Lord. So we also do the same, like whenever we get Lord's tulsi, which is offered to the Lord's lotus feet, we smell. So we can see like how it's so beautiful, like all our sense organs, how we can engage in Lord's service. So this verse, like, it's so self-explanatory. So we are doing it slowly so that we understand the bhava here. And Pado Harer Kshetra Padanu Sarpane. Padanu Sarpane, yeah. So, and then with his body, so once he's done that, his legs in traveling to the holy places of the Lord. So then we go to all these dhams, and we do the darshan, we go to the different dhams, and we parikrama. So he's using his legs to do that. And then what he's doing with his head, Siro Rishikesha Pada Bhinandane. So he's using his head, like he's bowing down his head in offering obeisances to the Lord. So that's how we, like in our Vaishnav culture, we like, we do Sashtanga Pranam or Panchanga Pranam. We offer first the head, which has got the mind, which has got the buddhi, which has got the brain. So we offer it to the Lord by lying down. So that's what Ambarish Maharaj, he is displaying that. And then when we do all that, what happens? Kamam cha dasye na tu kama kamyaya. So when we do that, then all his desires in fulfilling the desire of the Lord, so you become like, you become the servant of the Lord. You don't become the servant of the lust or the desires. Like kamam cha dasye na tu, I mean, you become the servant of the Lord, and not like of the desires, not of the lust or the desires we have, the material desires. You don't become you don't become a servant of those desires. Like we are not controlled by the senses, but we are controlled by our intelligence, which says that we should be, which gives our true position, like we are the servant of the servant of the servant, like serving in that mood. That should be, then only when we fix our mind, our senses, fix our mind onto the Lord, then we are able to concentrate and use our senses to the service of the Lord. And when we do that, then we understand our true position as a servant of the Lord. So then, and all these qualifications made him become fit as matpara, devotee of the Lord. So that's how. So what Lord is saying here, that become, fix your consciousness upon me. So, and he is giving the key, and through this verse Prabhupada so nicely showed us, like, referring to the Srimad Bhagavatam, that how we can do it. So he is saying, through all these qualifications we become fit. So this is the word, we become fit to become matpara. So yeah, the word matpara is quite significant in this connection, as we explained here. And how can one become matpara is described in the life of Ambarish Maharaj. And next we come Sri Baladev Vidyabhushan, a great scholar and acharya in the line of Matpara, remarks that Mad Bhakti Prabhavena Sarvendriya Vijaya Purvika Swatma Drishti Sulabheti Bhavaha. The sense is completely controlled. The senses can be completely controlled by the strength of devotional service of Krishna. So of course, like the same thing we see has been repeated. So this is like the disciplic succession Krishna has told, and then through the disciplic succession we see, like, of course, different pastimes, like Ambarish Maharaj story, we see that. And again in the disciplic succession we have Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, and then his disciple Valadev Vidyabhushan. He was able to he was a great scholar. I'll briefly tell about him also. And he is, through this verse, what he is saying, the senses can be completely controlled by the strength, only by the strength of devotional service. And how do we do devotional service? Like in becoming all our the material body, all parts of body in the service of the Lord. And also an example of fire is sometimes given, like as a blazing fire burns everything within the room. Lord Vishnu, situated in the heart of a yogi, burns all kind of impurities. So Lord sits in everybody's heart, not only yogi. He's like, if we are a yogi, then of course we are conscious, but if he's also there in the heart of people who have got more into material senses. But their Lord just watches. He doesn't, he has given us free will, and you can do whatever you want, and Lord is still just, he's a silent observer. But in the heart of a yogi, what he will do, he will burn all kinds of impurities. All the anarthas will burn when we do devotional service to the Lord. In the Yoga Sutra also prescribes meditation of Vishnu and not meditation of the void. So, we see, like, sometimes in the Himalayas, the yogis are meditating, and, they only believe in Advaita, like, you merge into Lord's Brahman energy, like the Brahman effulgence. You just, that's void, like it's not a personal form. But Lord, what does Lord wants? Like, as Ambarish Maharaj has displayed, like with all your thing, you meditate on Vishnu. That's what is prescribed in the scriptures. The so-called yogis, so this Prabhupada says, so-called yogis who meditate on something other than Vishnu is a waste of time in vain search after some phantasmagoria. So it's basically an illusion, like, we if we just not focus on the Lord and focus just in the void meditating, like we hear all this all around. You will hear, like, let's meditate, let's do yoga and meditation we hear. But until we come to Krishna consciousness, will not understand what is actual yoga and what is the actual purpose of meditation. Otherwise it's kind of some kind of phantasmagoria. It's like, in childhood we used to see all this, like, I've taken a picture, like, these are magic lantern kind of thing, where, through a lens, like sometimes in the streets used to come, they used to show us different pictures, or like some movie star or something images, like, it sometimes grows in size, becomes smaller, and then it merges into each other. So this is not real. Whatever we are seeing, it's not real. The actual image is a certain size, but only through the lenses that we have here we experience this phantasmagoria. So that is basically waste. It's in vain search of, like, what the yogis they're doing. It's vain search of attaining the Lord. So we have to be, so Prabhupada is giving his final verdict that we have to be Krishna conscious devotee, devoted to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the aim of that is the aim of the real yoga, and that's what we all should aim for. Here I will give a brief description about who was Baladev Vidyabhushan and how Lord helped. Like, this is a beautiful story. I'll say in brief. So, he is a scholar from our Gaudiya, Brahma Gaudiya Madhava Parampara. And once there was in Jaipur, there was a, like, all the we have got the 4 paramparas, and they were having this meeting, kind of shastrarth they were having. So everybody was invited, and that time Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, his spiritual master, he was invited actually, but he had, by that time he was like 90 years old and he could not travel so far. So he asked Valadev Vidyabhushan to go and, like, attend that like conference. So when he went there, they like there were people from the Ramanuja, the Sri Sampada, the Rudra Sampradaya and all, and they had like very nice commentaries written, like the Veda, after the Vedas and the Upanishads and these Puranas and everything. Finally, before writing the Srimad Bhagavatam, Vyasadeva had written this Vedanta Sutra, because the Vedas are very four. Initially it was one Veda, then it became because nobody could understand, even the scholars and the sadhus, so he made it into four Vedas, and then the four also people could not understand, then he made it into the 18 Puranas. But that was also difficult for people, then he made it into 108 Upanishads, more making it more lucid for the people. But even then also people did not understand the main message, then he made this Vedanta Sutra, like commentaries on all these Upanishads. So Vedanta Sutra is basically commentaries on the Upanishads. So, and then also not only by Vyasadeva, all the sages and the scholars by then of the different sampradayas, they also started writing their own commentaries, like all these purports, like all these purports that Srila Prabhupada has written, they are basically based on the commentaries of the different acharyas from our own the Gaudiya Madhava lineage, disciplic succession. Prabhupada has read all those books and he has taken the time to make the purports, which are basically from, even in this purport you see he has taken so much from Srimad Bhagavatam, he has quoted Baladev Vidyabhushan and so on. But that time our Gaudiya Madhava Sampradaya, they did not have any commentary or any book written like a commentary book. There was no written format of what our Sampradaya was about. And why it was not there? So Prabhupada at one place he has said that because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord himself, came in a parampara and he was already there, he was giving all this knowledge. So the all his disciples thought, what's the need of writing it down? Lord is saying us and we are following it. But when this time came, like when this Sashtra, this conference was supposed to happen, then they found that they haven't got anything. And when he went to Jaipur, Valadev Vidyabhushan, he was mocked at, like he said, you cannot participate because you don't have, we are not even considering your sampradaya, Gaudiya sampradaya, as a sampradaya, because Baladev Vidyabhushan was from Orissa. He was born in Balasore and like he followed this parampara, but because he did not have anything written, so he said, you cannot worship, you cannot even do a deity worship here because we do not accept your sampradaya. And initially that temple in Jaipur, this temple had Radha Govind Dev Ji. So both the deities were there, but then they removed Radharani from there and only Govind Dev Ji was worshipped, because they said they worship, because Sri Sampradaya, they are into Vishnu, Lakshmi Narayan, so they worship like that. The Pushti Marg, they Sampradaya, they worship as Srinath Ji or just as only as Gopal and all that. So Radharani is only in the Gaudiya Sampradaya. So but Radharani is like, is not, it's a very Ladani Shakti, it's a very deep tattva, and all the other sampradayas, they could not understand this, so they did not want like Baladev Vidyabhushan to say anything. So he was just and said, you go back and we are giving you 18 days to come back with a commentary, then only we'll accept your sampradaya, then we'll accept 4 sampradayas, otherwise we don't accept your sampradaya because you don't have anything written. So Baladev Vidyabhushan, he went to Govind Dev Ji and he prayed to the Lord, complete surrender, that Lord, this has happened, I wanted to glorify our parampara, but for my spiritual master, but this is, I was mocked at and I was not given a chance. So and then that then he came back and then he had a dream, like in the dream Govind Dev Ji came, and it's so like surreal, like in the dream Govind Dev Ji said like, I will dictate you, you just write. So he wrote all the commentary. Basically he wrote, he was an instrument, Lord, it was Lord who dictated, and that's why our commentary on our sampradaya, it's called Govind, and so Baladev Vidyabhushan named it Govinda Bhasya. So that's, and then after 18, he did not take 18 days also, he went, and then when the conference was on, and then when he explained everything, he gave the commentary, the written commentary, everybody became speechless, and that's how. So the contribution of Baladev Vidyabhushan is great, because of him we have this the whole commentary on a sampradaya, and that's how a sampradaya is accepted. Otherwise, like with these powerful other sampradayas, they wouldn't have accepted Radharani as like the supreme Ladini Shakti, so this is one I wanted to share with this. And yeah, before I finish, I'll give some quick references, like which from the shlokas from Bhagavad Gita, like what does Lord is saying the same thing, that our mind, like Arjuna says, the mind is the most difficult to control, and Lord is what he's saying, you fix your mind unto me. So in this Bhagavad Gita verse 7.1, Lord is saying, Shri Bhagavana Uvacha Mai Ashakta Manaha Partha Yogam Yugnan Mad Ashraya Asamshaya Samagra Mam Yatha Yatha Gyasasi Shinu Tashrinu. So, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Now hear, O son of Partha, by practicing yoga in full consciousness with me, so this is the main thing I wanted to highlight, with mind attached to me, you can know me in full, free from doubt. So Lord is giving, these some of these verses, like these are my apologies that I'm not good at reciting, but we need to all learn these verses, that this Lord is giving the keys, like with your mind attached to me, you can know me in full, with free from doubt. So there should be, without any mental speculation, you can know me. So that's what Lord is saying. And then another one, I wanted to share this one. 1857, Lord says, Chetasa sarva karmani mai sannyasa mat paraha buddhi yogam upashrita mat chittaha satatam bhava. So in all activities, just depend upon me. Work always under my protection. In such devotional service, be fully conscious of me. So all when can we become fully conscious of the Lord? When we surrender at his lotus feet. And yeah, I think I have one, and then this is the last one. I'll finish with this. This is chapter 12, verse 9. Atha chittam samadhatum na saknoshi mai sthiram abhyasa yogena tato mam ichhaptum dhananjaya. So what is Lord saying? My dear Arjuna, O winner of wealth, that's why he's called Dhananjaya, because he won over the wealth, like he could conquer wealth from lot of kingdoms. He had lot, yeah. So if you cannot fix your mind, upon me without deviation, then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, develop a desire to attain me. So basically this is our key verse, because sometimes even when we chant, we see, it happens to me all the time. Of course, I cannot speak for other devotees, but we cannot fix our Lord. Like when we are chanting, also some other thoughts keep coming and going without deviation. Lord is expecting this, but he's saying that if you cannot, he's always giving, like, options. So what is he saying? Then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. So you follow the regulative principles, and what Ambarish Maharaj did, follow all that with your own body, and the regulative principles that Prabhupada has given us, and then in this way develop the desire to attain me. So even if we cannot attain Lord like an Uttamadhikari, we can develop the desire to attain me. So that's about this shloka. तानि सर्वाणि संयम्य युक्त आशित मत्परः वसे हि यश येन्द्रियाणि तस्य pragya pratisthita. One who restrains his senses, keeping them under full control, fixes his consciousness upon me, is known as a man of steady intelligence. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you for listening to me.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. So beautifully explaining, giving different examples as well, and also explaining about the Baladev Vidya. So beautiful. Thank you so much for presenting this pastime as well. Okay. Okay, so we request the dear devotees, if you have got any questions, kindly raise your questions. And you wanted to share anything, kindly share. Or if anything is taking your mind and wanted to share, kindly share that one as well. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. Thank you so much for clearly, explaining and connecting with very good example like Prabhupada has given a, one example from Srimad Bhagavata, so I can, which really helped actually to connect the previous shlokas and this one. So it's about slowly, trying to understand about senses. So always I used to have one doubt in the previous class, and that will clear in this class. If I'm having one in this, it is clearing in next class. Today itself you cleared one of the biggest doubt. I used to think like, uh, as I mentioned, slok of 58. So where it said Kurmuanganiva Sarvasaha, where it explained us to control the senses as the way tortoise just, grasp, you know, their legs and hands inside, to the shell. So similarly, whenever we get any sense gratification kind of thoughts, we have to quickly, just like as a tortoise example, we have to grab our senses and take control of that. So from that, we understood that. So if we can try and do that, we are almost close to Krishna. And second thing I understood today is like once after doing that, today is another clear example. Uh, Even after controlling senses, it was clearly said today, like, okay, you have controlled senses, and what else we have to do to make sure that is done perfectly? That is matpara. So that is the one which I've learned today. So, which is, the second line is, uh, you know, really, eye opener for me. Tani sarvani samyamya yuktashita matpara. So that is Matpara is I got really connected to that. So with King Amrisha, he explained like when he's walking, so he's going to temples. Like when he's looking at Lord, and when he's using his head, he's bowing to God, and when he's praying, he's using his hands to pray. When he's smelling the flowers which are kept at the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. And when he's hearing Kirtan. So that is very good example. So now I understood whenever we get distractions, so how we can get back to, Krishna conscious is like check our senses, what our senses are doing. Are our senses seeing good things? No. Then come back. Are our ears hearing wrong things? If it is yes, come back to Krishna. So if it is unnecessary thing, so don't hear, if it is a required thing, so you can hear and come back to Krishna again. And if you're talking, so are you doing kirtan or unnecessary gossip? So we have to check that as well. Come back to doing kirtan or do useful thing at work and come back and you utilize even that talking very well as well towards Krishna. Is it helping Krishna, that way? So as I said, when walking, like again, try and use to go to Tirtha Yatras, so all the senses. So now I'm slowly trying to understand. So in previous slokas it said we have to control. Now I got to know matpara, how we can check ourselves, why we are unable to focus on God, because one of the sense is not, following this matpara. That now I clearly can relate myself whenever while chanting why my mind is distracting, because one of the senses is not, focused on Krishna. So we have to slowly check it, bring it back to Krishna. So that's how we can become pure. So when this purity comes, so as the example said, like a fire burning in a house, like the similar way Krishna lives in our hearts. Once we are into this bhakti yogi towards not the yogi like doing meditation for material benefits or something like that. If we do that, that is, as you mentioned, the word it is nothing actually. And then, but we have to do bhakti yogi, which is meaningful yogi, that where Krishna is involved. So when that happens, so Krishna lives in our heart and burns all the impurities. So very, very, very good session, Mataji. Thank you so much. You clearly explained. It's like following every second to second when you're preaching this, and I'm very thankful for explaining this clearly today. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. You and I like your approach, like we all love, like your approach towards learning spirituality. You learn, you're such a fast learner of shlokas. Not only that, whatever we discuss in the session, you summed it up very nicely. So, that stays in our brain. So, yeah, initially Krishna was saying, like, before this was Thrita Pragya, like we have to be steady, like how steady, and then only the intelligence comes. So, once it's steady, like the tortoise, like whatever
Mm.
distraction is, as you mentioned, going on, it doesn't get distracted whatever happens. Yeah. And then he's saying mat paraha. So, and yeah, just quickly, I'll quickly share my screen, and so I just meant to share this also, but yeah, this one. If we don't do, so I'm not going into detail, but next class whoever is doing, they will do this. So we did this shloka, right? So if we don't do, then what happens? So when we don't do, then Lord is saying that while contemplating on the senses, if we don't focus on Krishna, then what happens? The person develops attachment for them. And from such, so he step by step, now like a flow chart, it's very nice. Like this chapter 2 is like, the sar of the Gita, summary of Gita. So it's so development, the person develops attachment for them, to the sense objects. And then from such attachment develops lust, like the desire to enjoy without Krishna, that is lust. And then what happens? From the lust arises anger. So suppose we have certain desires, if it doesn't get fulfilled, then we have anger, like that happens to us normally. And then again he says, from anger delusion arises. Then like that happened to Durvasa Muni. Like he all he wanted just was check Ambarish Maharaj, just test him. But because he wasn't served, he was only drinking water, and he got so angry. It's not that it's not that he saw Ambarish Maharaj having a like meal and not serving him. Just he was breaking his fast, and he knows that. It's not that he's an ignorant person. He's such a big sage. He's a sage, and he knows everything. Still, like from anger, what happens? Delusion arises, and from delusion, bewilderment of memory. So why did he curse? Because his memory was bewildered. And when memory is bewildered, intelligence is lost. So look, it's everything is giving, Lord is giving. And when intelligence is when intelligence is lost, one falls down into the material pool. So yeah, this is what I wanted to share also. They'll discuss later in next one. But yeah, so this is a step by step. When we don't follow this the 62 and 63, that is what it follows. Yeah.
Exactly.
Just
Thank
wanted
you,
to add.
Mataji. Yeah, it makes really clear sense and helps in real life, day-to-day life as well. And yeah, and thank you so much, Mataji. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Yeah. We just repeat what Prabhupada said. So nothing from me, Prabhu. Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you, Mataji and Prabhuji, for good reflection. Okay. And can I request Prabhavati Sachi Mataji to share anything on this shloka, Mataji?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you very much for a wonderful session, as always. Very nice to hear from you, and very, very clear. Thanks again. And you said you didn't prepare. It doesn't look like, Mataji. It was so amazing. And yeah, the outcome of not controlling the senses, and also if you don't control the senses, what will happen? It's all explained in the next. But just wanted to add, there is one beautiful example Prahlad Maharaj is giving in Canto 7, chapter 5, verse 30. What will happen to if we are not able to control our senses? Matirena Krishna paratara satova mito abhipatteya Graha Vartana, Adinta Gobir, Vishatam, Tamishram, Punaha Punaha Charvita Charvarna. That means this in this verse, Prahlad Maharaj is saying, if we are not able to control our senses, we will be, Prahlad Maharaj replied, because of their uncontrolled senses, persons too addicted to materialistic life make progress towards hellish conditions and repeatedly chew that which has already been chewed. Their inclination towards Krishna are never aroused either by the instruction of others, by their own efforts, or by a combination of both. So this particular verse always I like because so many devotees give best example of this one. Really nice one. And in the purport also Srila Prabhupada explains beautifully what will happen to the people who are not following properly and their senses are not controlled. So I don't want to read this purport. If you want me to read, I can read probably. Otherwise, we can give up. It's a big purport, so maybe next time we can do this.
I'm happy to read Mataji if you have time.
Yeah, we'll just go. Yes, Mataji, please go ahead and read. What is the essence? You want to read entire purport or just one section of it, Mataji?
I just maybe if there is time, I'll just read.
Yeah, sure, Mataji.
Purport by Divine Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In this verse, the word Matirana Krishna refers to devotional service rendered to Krishna. So-called politicians, erudite scholars and philosophers who read Bhagavad Gita try to twist some meaning from it to suit their material purpose. But their misunderstandings of Krishna will not yield them any profit. Because such politicians, philosophers, and scholars are interested in using Bhagavad Gita as a vehicle for adjusting things materially, for them, constant thought of Krishna or Krishna consciousness is impossible. Matirena Krishna. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 18.55, Bhaktya Mamabhijanat. Only through devotional service can one understand Krishna as he is. The so-called politicians and scholars think of Krishna as fictitious. The politicians say that his Krishna is different from the Krishna depicted in Bhagavad Gita. Even though he accepts Krishna and Rama as the supreme, he thinks of Rama and Krishna as impersonal because he has no idea of service to Krishna. Thus, his only business is punaha punaha charvita charvanam, chewing the chewed again and again. The aim of such politicians and academic scholars is to enjoy this material world with their bodily senses. Therefore, it is clearly stated here that those who are grahavrata, whose only aim is to live comfortably with the body in the material world, cannot understand Krishna. The two expansions, Grahavrata and Charvita Charvananam, indicates that a materialistic person tries to enjoy sense gratification in different bodily forms, life after life, but still unsatisfied. In the name of personalism, this ism or that ism, such persons always remain attached to the materialistic way of life, as stated in Bhagavad Gita 2.44. Bhogaishwara prasaktanam तया प्रहतचेतसां व्यवसायित्मिका बुद्धिः समाधौ न vidiyate. In the mind of those who are too attached to sense enjoyment and material opulence, and who are bewildered by such things, the resolute determination for devotional service to the Supreme Lord does not take place. Those who are attached to material enjoyment cannot be fixed in devotional service to the Lord. They cannot understand Bhagavan Krishna or his instructions. Bhagavad Gita, Adanta Gobir, Vishatam Tamishram. Their path actually leads towards a hellish life. As confirmed by Rishabhadeva, Mahat Sevam Dwaram Ahur Vimuktehi. One must try to understand Krishna by serving devotee. The word Mahat refers to a devotee. Mahatma Nastu Mam Partha. Daivim prakritim ashritaha bhajantya ananya manaso jnatva bhutadim avyayam. O son of Pratha, those who are not deluded, the great souls, are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. Bhagavadgita 19 chapter 13 verse. A Mahatma is one who is constantly engaged in devotional service 24 hours a day. As explained in the following verse, unless one adheres to such a great personality, one cannot understand Krishna. Hiranyakashipu wanted to know where Prahlada had gotten this Krishna consciousness, who had taught him. Prahlada sarcastically replied, My dear father, persons like you never understand Krishna. One can understand Krishna only by serving a Mahat, a great soul. Those who try to adjust material conditions are said to be chewing the chewed. No one has been able to adjust material condition, but life after life, generation after generation, people try and repeatedly fail. Unless one is properly trained by a Mahatma, or unalloyed devotee of the Lord, there is no possibility of one's understanding Krishna and his devotional service. Thank you, Prabhuji. I think it took a long time, but it's a nice verse. I always liked it and wanted to just share it. We all can read again and again. There's so much to learn from this verse, and what Mataji did today, chapter 261 verse, really so much connection is there. And the essence from this is we have to learn only with the pure devotion to Krishna we can attain Krishna, and otherwise chewing the chewed, like Srila Prabhupada always explained in his purport. Most of the classes he explained also that one. We are chewing the chewed. So this is what I wanted to add. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for the time, and sorry for taking time.
Thank you, Mataji. It's so beautiful just going through another purport of Srila Prabhupada. Yes. And many people, they twist the meanings of Bhagavad Gita. That's why there is so much of Maya was spread. Thank you so much, Mataji. Okay,
Thank you. I just want to pray. Thank you, Prabhavati Mataji, for really bringing this like the same message, but so many Prabhupada's purports he has written, saying the same message. Krishna has given the same message definitely, and Prabhupada, he's like, this is Prahlad Maharaj is another aspect of the same story. He's dealing with again Hiranyakashipu and saying this. Ambarish Maharaj, he's dealing with Durvasa Muni, saying the same things, that control your senses, become my devotee, and fix your mind into me. But it's in a different scenario, and but the same thing like we are all doing, otherwise chewing the chewed. So thanking for bringing it up. You do so much of self-study and you're able to bring so much. Yeah. And as mentioned, Mataji, I was meant to speak 2 weeks back, so I had prepared then, but that was there in my mind. Today I did not have a single minute to, I just came half an hour back and sorted the children and then came here. So I was saying to the Lord, Lord, give me some remembrance of what I was going to speak, and then I spoke. There were a few other things to say, but I forgot about them. So anyway, time was up. So yeah, Mataji, so not prepared today that way. But yeah, but when devotees contribute, so it's good. It was not very big. So when we hear the realization from other devotees, it really enriches. Even if we do one shloka, it enriches our consciousness, our knowledge, and our intelligence. So we are doing buddhi yoga, and this only makes our knowledge more sublime. So thank you, Mataji, for your contribution. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. So very wonderful again to hear. Can I request Ramlala Prabhuji? Any comments, Prabhuji?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. That Sanchita Mataji has explained very nicely, wonderfully, by word, systematically. So nice. Here is a lot of information she brought, and actually it was very nice. Additionally, Pawan Prabhuji, Shasi Mataji as well, she brought also nice reference. Prabhupada always giving this reference, giving us material world, what is how the example as sugar cane. Sorbita chorbanam, sugar cane. So what we are doing, this is the no. First taste is very nice, sugar cane, but afterward nothing, no rush, no juice. So this is going on. Actually, this is also like a Matpara. I want to give actually another two very wonderful reference from one is Bhagavatam and another one is Chaitanya Charitamrita. Actually, we know this is actually on prayer. Actually, we can follow one Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 2, text number 28 and 29. How to follow, how to Matpara actually. Yes, 1, 2, 28, 29. Yes, this is very, very nice. Yes, actually. Vasudeva para Veda, Vasudeva para Mokha, Vasudeva para Yoga, Vasudeva para Kriya, Vasudeva param Jnanam, Vasudeva param Tapa, Vasudeva para Dharma, Vasudeva para Gati. So we have to remember, so how to come to end Paragoti. Excellent, Vasudeva. Translation. Excellent. In the revealed scriptures, the ultimate object of knowledge is Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead. The purpose of performing sacrifice is to please Him. Yoga is for realizing Him. All fruitive activities are ultimately rewarded by Him only. He is supreme knowledge, and all service, or severe austerities are performed to know Him. Real dharma is rendering loving service unto Him. He is the supreme goal of life. So we have to understand this is the very, very important thing. What is the how to engage everything to Lord Krishna. So whatever we are doing, actually, this is going opposite way. We are taking scripture, we mislead, deviation from Krishna. Even we are doing also like what is it? Sacrifice, austerity, whatever we are doing, sacrifice for what? For sense enjoyment or other purpose, not for Krishna. Deviation. Even whatever any sacrifice, any knowledge, any what is it? Tapasa. Even Brahmaji was guided by Lord Krishna. Tapa. You have to do tapa. But it is tapa for to whom? Actually, to Lord, Supreme Lord, Lord Krishna. But whatever in this world, we are demoniac mentality, we are deviation or deviation. It is not actually not param dharma, no paragati. Even also Bhagavadgita actually chapter 16 also mentioned similar thing at the end. So actually chapter 16, I think 23, yes, 23 actually. 16, 23 years. Yes. So far I remember, maybe. Yes. Exactly. The Sastra Vidhi Musijam. Sorry, my pronunciation is not good. Yeah, Gauranga Mataji, can you help me to recite if you are here? Yeah. Yes. Are you here? Gauranga Mataji? Yes. Okay. Maybe.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah, can you, Mataji, can you recite?
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Yaha Shastra Vidhi Mutsija वर्तते कामकारतः न स सिद्धिमवाप्नोति न सुखं न परं गतिम्.
Very good. Is it really transcendental sound? Yeah, Hare Krishna. Yeah. So then, what is the actually then at the end? No shukam, no param goti. Goti. Actually, here, he who discards scriptural injunction and act according to him own whims attains neither perfection nor happiness nor the supreme destination. Then at the next text, actually, then he, Lord Krishna instructed the last one. Yeah. Thus, yeah, Gauranga Mataji, your recitation is so nice. Yeah, please.
Again, Prabhuji?
Yeah, please.
Okay. तस्मात् छात्रं प्रमाणं ते कार्याव्यवस्थितौ ज्ञातो शास्त्रविधानोक्तं कर्म कर्तुमिहार्हसि. Nicely, Prabhuji. Sorry.
No, it's fine. Yeah. One should therefore understand what is duty, what is not duty by the regulation of scriptures. Knowing such rules and regulation, one should act so that he may gradually be elevated. Actually, this is the ultimate reference, ultimate knowing what is the purpose of our scripture, what is the power of, what is the austerity. This is actually ultimate goal of life, purity. Actually, it's coming from purity. That's why in the sixth shastra, at the end, what is it? I mentioned several times actually. Ashlishabam padarutam pinashtamam jatha daka ba vidhat lampata mat prananastu saiva na para. So it is actually it is actually pure love. Actually pure love. Whatever you are lampata, you are, but we are considering you are the ultimate goal, nothing else, no one else. We don't need any other. So this is actually ultimate goal. So actually this is the scriptural ultimate reference. We have to follow that. So Sanchita Mataji already explained nicely everything so wonderfully. And one example of the elevated devotee we can follow actually Navaveda Bhakti, Amrisha Maharaj. He has given how controlling of the senses, and if one who can do that, he will be protected by Lord. So this is the ultimate. And additional, I can mention, Sanchita Mataji mentioned, you did not prepare, but you know how Draupadi was distributed 60,000 Brahmana when Amrisha came to house of Draupadi's house, how Durvasha and 60,000 Brahmana, and how it was fulfilled, this offering distribution, how it was only remembering Krishna. Only remembering Krishna. And when Krishna came, taking one little grain, and 60,000 was delivered, was satisfied. So actually, Sanchita Mataji, you distributed nicely. You mentioned you did not prepare, but actually your deliberation was very nice. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Sorry, I am taking long time. Please accept my apologies. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. It's all because this purport, yeah, Prabhupada, maybe Krishna and Prabhupada made my job easy today, because the purport was so nicely, this 9 process of bhakti through Ambarish Maharaj, it's so nicely, every step and every sense organ, it's so nicely written that 90% of my task was done here, only explaining, because we need to understand what he does for everything. So without preparation also, through Prabhupada's, so we are all glories to Prabhupada's, like, divine grace, like his, because of him we are able to speak whatever little knowledge we have, we can connect to, holding on to his lotus feet and his purpose, we are learning ourselves and able to share some of it to nectar to others also. So yeah, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. But thank you again for bringing so many references, Prabhu's, like, yeah, your depth of knowledge shows, like, and your humility with which you deliver it, really, it's always enriching for us, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. David Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, and Hare Krishna all. Such a beautiful class, Mataji. You are such an elevated devotee as well. Your depth of knowledge is so much there. Amazing. And I liked the example you gave about Baldeva Vidyabhushan Maharaj, which I didn't know about it. So I really like that. And you use so many references. So thank you. And we are learning still, and because you use all these references, and Prabhati Mataji and Pavan Prabhu and everybody contributed, it just was like icing on the cake. So beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So it's all because of him we are able to share the knowledge. And yeah, regarding Baladev Vidyabhushan, yeah, as I always mention that, apart from learning the Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavadgita and Chaitanya Charitamrita, all these scholars who have worked hard, so somehow I have that knack of learning about the devotees, like what they did, the acharyas. So, and then I found out about him and thought I must share it with the devotees. So, because rather, Govind Dev temple is there in Jaipur, and when we sincerely surrender, how can Lord help that? When I read it a couple of years back, and then, like, we have Khichura Gopinath, Sakshi Gopal and all. Lord comes personally and he's dictating. I said, he's telling, and in his dream, that I'm dictating, you write. So he wrote. So that's, how wonderful. It gives us goosebumps, like, yeah. So just wanted to share that also. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. It's similar to Prabhupada's experiences. That Prabhupada says, I have not written this purpose. Krishna is dictating. I'm just being instrument. Similarly, another Acharya, Baladev Vidyabhushan. Thank you, Mataji. Gaurangi Mataji and Usha Mataji, wanted to add anything, Mataji?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Sanchita Mataji, Ravati Mataji, Pawan Prabhu, Ramlala Prabhuji, everyone very talented, very nicely explained. So I don't have any question and any comments, but thank you very much for you all did read Bhagavan and Lord Krishna and his devotees. You did mention and you did very nicely, Mataji, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
All of Mataji and Prabhuji, Hari Bol.
Very beautiful. Thank you, Mataji. Usha Mataji, you wanted to add anything, Mataji?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. No, Prabhu, not want to add anything, but yes, Sanchita Mataji take a very good class and then explain very nicely. And Pran Prabhu had, Ramlala Prabhu had, Prabhu Mataji, very nice, Prabhu. I don't have to do nothing to add. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. So this is devotees, they hide their wealth behind until we just knock the door and open them. So this is how we all get benefited. Yes, I can request all the devotees to kindly unmute and do three Hari Bols to Sanchita Mataji, please.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hari
Bol.
Hari
Bol. Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Thank
Hari
you.
Hari Bol. More extra Hari Bols to Mataji.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada, and today's session we really all enjoyed because Prabhavati Mataji, Ramlala Prabhu contributed, and Prabhan Prabhu, you summarized it nicely. So your understanding. So when devotees, one devotee says and then others contribute, it's more enriching. So all glories to all of you, and Hari Bols to Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol
Hari
to all
Bol. Thank you,
the other
Mataji.
devotees as well. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Okay, so this is so beautiful. One has to meditate on the Lord's form. That is how one will be. Again, in the Prabhupada's Bhagavadgita book as it is, so Prabhupada has drawn pictures, Prabhupada's disciples, 5 senses, 5 horses, and then there is a mind which is driving those senses, and mind is again fixed to the intelligence, and there is Atma also sitting there. But here, next to the Atma, there is Paramatma as well. When that thread, what is that, the controlling thread, if it is given to Krishna, he will drive all the senses, everything. That is called Matpara. Only Vishnu or the Krishnas. That is how all the senses will be properly controlled. Okay, thank you so much, dear devotees. If you're happy, then we shall move on to the next.
Prabhu, just quickly wanted to mention that, regarding Baladev Vidyabhushan, I've shared the link if devotees want to
You share
read
that link.
about it. Yeah, you can read it later, copy the link, so that it's a very nice one. So, yeah, ISKCON Desiratory. So, I just took a few bit from here to say, but this is authentic text, so devotees can read and learn more about him. He has got this, our main sampradaya contribution is like, this is the Govindeji temple, and the other sampradayas that they wanted to remove Radharani from here, like such audacity. Like he said, no, we don't believe in Radharani. But then Baladev Vidyabhushan ji, he, from his bhasya and commentary, they did not do that. So there was a thread that Radharani will be removed from this temple. So yeah, so nice thing. Everybody can read about it and learn. So just
Very
wanted to
good.
share.
Beautiful. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, you can give on our group, please.
Okay, Prabhu, I'll share in the group. Yes, Prabhu.
Please. Thank you.
Okay, sure.
Okay, so
Thank you.
Mataji, if you're all happy, we shall move to the next month prayers. Ramlala Prabhuji is going to lead, we all follow behind. Dear devotees, Ramlala Prabhuji, are you happy and ready to start, Prabhuji?
Hare Krishna, yes, I can do. Will my daughter, Riti Mataji can do?
Yes, Prabhuji, yeah.
Okay.
Devotees, kindly unmute and follow wherever it is.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Yeah, is it not on me? Should I start? No. We are leading together then. Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Praladayini. Hiranyakashipurvakshaha. Shilatankanakalaye. Ito nasimho bharato nasimho.
Ito nasimho bharato nasimho.
Yato yamitato nasimho.
Yato yamitato nasimho.
Bahi nasimho hridaye nasimho.
Vahina Simho
Hridaye Narasimha.
Narasimhamadiim Saranam Prapade.
Narasimhamadim Sharanam Prapade.
Tavakara Kamala Nakha Adbhuta Singha Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanuvringha Keshavajita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Tava
Adbhuta Shringa Gita Hiranyakashipu Tanubringam Keshavadrita Narari Rupa Jagadisha Hare Jagadisha Hare Jagadisha Hare
Keshavajita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare
Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jagadisha Hare Jagadisha Hare
Jaya Nrsimhadev Jaya Nrsimhadev Jaya Nrsimhadev Jaya Nrsimhadev
Jaya Narasimha Dev Jaya Narasimha Dev Jaya Narasimha Dev Jaya Narasimha Dev
Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj
Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada
Singhadev Bhagavan ki
Jai.
Prahlad Maharaj ki
Jai.
Nande
Hare
Hari Bol.
Please to assemble
Hare
Krishna.
assemble devotees.
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Sanchita Mataji ki jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Beautiful, Riti, very nicely done. So sweet to hear your voice when we get to hear.
Thank you, Sanchita Mataji.
Thank you so much, Priti Mataji, and the Prabhuji on devotees. Very nice lesson. Okay, so we are 44 past. If you're happy, then we shall conclude our session for tonight and see you tomorrow morning for Japa session at 5:30 a.m. Okay, we shall conclude. Vancha
पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः
Namo Namo.
Om Namah.
Gaudiya Vaishnavinda ki jai.
Jai.
Prabhupada ki jai.
जय
Jai.
जय
Hare Krishna consciousness.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.